Today's episode of Literally is sponsored by Lowe's. First of all, I was going to start talking about how smart you are and with all the different iterations of how I know that to be true. But I just want to say that we were about to start shooting and I had my espresso in a
name brand cup.
Name brand. I don't want to say, but it was a place that you go to get your, and you're like, they should be paying you for that. I'm like, God damn it.
I got your best interest.
He's right. He should.
Who's your agent?
You are.
Exactly.
The Sinek. Well, that's why you had what was the name of the original firm that you had when you?
Way back when I first started my company?
Yes.
Sinek Partners. No, Sinek Gomes. I had a business partner back in the day, Tony Gomes.
I'm represented by Sinek Gomes. If anybody's interested
sounds like a law firm.
In product placement, like here, like we were just also talking about TMZ, when you watch TMZ and they're sucking on those huge cups. Like they have to be working for that cup. Well, huge cup company.
Big cup company.
Big straw sucking, huge cup company sucking.
But I've never understood the product placement thing, whether it actually makes money for these companies. I guess they've done the math. Although very often I think it's just a client who wants to meet whoever celebrity. I came from advertising and I remember we would hire people who were good for the brand. It's because the client had the hots for them.
I want to deep dive in all of the dirty little secrets of advertising. And that's clearly one of them, right?
We had a client where she loved dogs so much that if we had multiple scripts to share with her, if we put a dog in one of them, that's the one she would buy. So we would always put the dog in the one that was our favorite and she would always buy it.
How many scripts would you prepare for a client?
Oh, 2 or 3.
Just 2 or 3?
Yeah, because you don't want to have too many choices, because then you have death by choice.
And then how many ideas? I mean, Coca-Cola comes to you and they say,
this goes back a long time. I was an account guy, so I wasn't writing the scripts, but I guess I would determine how many scripts we presented. I guess that was my job. You want to present, I don't believe in straw dogs. You want to present all good work. So whichever the one the client chooses, you'd be happy and proud to produce. Because I've seen it happen where people present junk and then they try and talk you out of it,
What a waste of time.
I've been on the receiving end of that stuff too.
Oh,
I like that one. No, you don't. I'm like, why'd you show it to me then?
Yeah, exactly.
Book covers. I've seen book covers that way, yeah.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that too.
Yeah.
So at what point did you realize that life wasn't for you and that you had more to offer?
I always knew that I would start my own business. I remember as an entry-level kid interviewing for my very first job, the junior HR person interviewing the even more junior, potential employee would ask me questions like, so what do you want in your career? What are you interested in? I said, one day I'm going to start my own business. I'm literally sitting there saying, if you hire me,
I'm not going to be.
I'm going to quit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
And they still hired me. So I always knew I had that entrepreneurial streak in me. I knew that I wanted that, and I wanted to have a corporate life first to sort of learn the ropes, which is what I did. And so I had a pretty good, fast-moving career in advertising, and I quit to start my own business about 5 years in. Earlier than I expected, but opportunity showed up, and I lunged at it.
So it is one of those things where you want to do it, but the river has to flow by you, and you see the lily pad and you jump on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think plans are useful if they're loosely followed. I don't know. Did your career go according to the plan?
No. Well, it's that thing of all generals have a war plan until the first shot is fired or whatever that.
I think that no plan survives contact with the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that. It's but it's the truth, right?
It is the 100% truth. And I think having a sense of direction is what you need. A plan, I don't think is that useful. I'm certainly living proof of that.
Same.
But general sense of direction.
And timing. It's so funny there. I always think about Jeffrey Katzenberg starting Quibi. And then because you want to watch stuff when you're on the go because you're so busy. And then the pandemic hits.
Yeah.
Nobody's on the go anywhere. And so there's goodbye to billions of dollars. And now here we are, 5 years, 4, whatever, 6 years later, whatever it is. And everybody's chasing exactly that same business model.
Yeah. My dad attempted to bring baking soda to South Africa. And you talk about timing and sort of what a good business pitch sounds like. So he shows up with this product and he says, this is the business pitch. Okay, I got a product for you that you can deodorize your fridge with you can brush your teeth with, you can clean the toilet with, and you can cook with. And everybody went, are you absolutely insane that I'm going to brush my teeth with the thing that I can clean the countertops with? And it was a complete and abject failure because it's too good a product. There's too many uses. And so the timing was wrong, the pitch was wrong, everything was wrong. But it's also a great lesson, which is don't sell everything, sell one thing that they want. Tell them that's the best deodorizer and let them discover the other things. But in terms of, but it was also a timing
That's
thing.
a great one. Don't.
People oversell, yeah. Look at all the things it can do. It can help you in your life. It can help you in your career. It can help you in, just pick one thing.
Now, it's so funny because another friend, like you, I love quotes. You love quotes. I'm looking at all my biography stuff on you. It's full of great quotes.
Thank you.
I like quotes.
Some of them rhyme.
Yeah, and some of them rhyme. But I have a friend who always said, don't just do what you can do what only you can do.
Yeah.
Which is, it was in the same family of.
Yeah. And don't, I think the challenge that we have is, what is that? I think everybody has that challenge of what is the thing that only I can do? Is that a true statement? That's a good thought. I don't know if it's true. Like you and I don't do something that
I know it applies to me.
But you and I don't do something that's unique to us.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. So there are a lot of great actors.
Yeah.
A lot of good actors, a lot of average actors, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Whatever category I fall in, there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
But there are very few that can do that look like a traditional movie leading man or TV leader who can be funny. So that's really when I score, I'm doing that because that less people can do that can do the other stuff.
I think that's true-ish because I could say something similar, but at the end of the day, there are other people who can do similar things to me. Some would say slightly better, some would say slightly worse. But I think the other component is the thing that brings you joy, right?
Yeah.
Because there are many of us that can do things that we don't want to do, but you have facility, you have capacity and skill for. There are things that I can do that I can even do really well that I don't want to do. I don't want to do, or I don't want to do anymore. And one of the things that I admire about you in your career is you love it as much now, I think, as you did back then. You love working.
Yes.
You love working.
I am still fulfilled. I'm fulfilled in maybe different ways in different times in my life, but I'm always, I have the fire.
But you would you do drama?
Oh yeah.
So then how can you say the unique thing that you can do is be good looking and do comedy?
I didn't transmit a nuance in the thesis, which is this isn't about what drives you, it's about how you succeed. So in other words, this is about how you stand out.
Yeah.
Right? Because that would be like a standout thing.
Yeah.
How do you be the guy in an area above others? But in terms of what powers you, it might be different.
Yeah.
And what powers me is like if I've been on a show that's funny, like when I finished Parks and Rec, I wanted to do a drama because doing comedies, it's so funny. It's like you come home every day and you go, I just like hung out with people and we just had some laughs and it was great. But it's weird. You don't feel like you worked. You don't. And you go and do, like when I did, whatever, Lone Star or something, 911, I'm like, oh, I fucking killed myself today.
Right.
So it's just a different thing.
You come home exhausted.
Yeah. Feel like you built something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the thing that I think is becoming more and more difficult for young people, especially like what a career is. And, I think guidance counselors and parents ask us the wrong question, which is, what do you want to do or what do you want to be? I think that's the wrong question, which is, and it's not even what are you good at, but it's in what circumstances do you find yourself fulfilled, joyous, excited, in flow? And don't tell me a subject, don't tell me a skill set. Talk about how one of your favorite things to do, like you can tell me a specific story of a time where you found yourself just in love with what you were doing. And people I was working at this summer camp, and I just remember helping out the kids and the joy that I have, the kids who didn't know how to play baseball or ride a horse, and I got to teach them. By the end, they were all experts. So it's nothing to do with baseball or riding a horse. There's a joy in teaching somebody a skill and then seeing them have it. And that's the thing you should find. Okay, where can I find that in a career?
Now, do we have the guts to back our play when you're faced with your own actual kid and they're going, you know what I found? I had such joy when I was working a surf camp in Uluwatu. And you're like, I think you should still practice medicine. Do you know what I mean?
I see what you get. But it's not the surf.
I don't think you should drop out of Princeton.
It's not the surf camp per se. It's the natural patterns that exist when you are in flow or when you are in love with the work that you do. Like if I went through your whole career and I looked at all the directors, all the writers, all the casts, there are some sets that you just, and whether it was hard work or whether it was, just a day of fun, there are projects that you loved being on.
Yes.
And there are projects that you liked being on, and there are projects that were just jobs.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the question I'm asking, or the question which is the projects that you loved being on, what do they all have in common? It wasn't that they were all comedies. That's not the case. There was something, we can actually go down this path. We can go down this path.
Let's go down it.
Okay, so tell me a specific project that you worked on that you absolutely loved being a part of. That if all your projects were like this one, you'd be the happiest person alive. Something specific.
Okay, what about this? What if so you have to exclude, it's just the work, it's not the people in the office.
Tell me a specific project that you worked on. You can answer the question however you like. A specific project that you worked on, that if every project you worked on was like this one, literally you'd be the happiest person alive.
I want to say The West Wing, but there were parts of that that would have given me black lung.
Okay, so so what was it about the high parts of The West Wing that of all the amazing things you've done in this illustrious career, that element of The West Wing stands out more than anything else, that if everything else you did was like those days, those weeks, like you've won the lottery?
I think.
Tell me a specific story. Tell me one of them. Tell me a specific story of one of the good days, so I can understand specifically what was the joy.
The day that I got the job, I had to audition, which I thought was, I don't have any ego about that.
But you were already a famous actor by then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I hadn't auditioned in a decade or more.
Yeah.
But I had no ego because my thinking was, it's a way to. I'm so competitive that I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll audition with anybody. I don't give a shit. And they hadn't been able to cast it, and I played that part, and knew, or at least felt, or believed. I believed that I was the only person who could play it. Like really, truly felt like I had such a lock on this mix of things that went into playing the character.
Mm-hmm.
And in the room, people were laughing and going crazy. And then when I got done, Aaron Sorkin turned to everybody and said, I told you this scene was funny. And I was like, oh, wow. So nobody had been funny in this?
Right.
What? And it was a confirmation of what I had thought, which was, whatever it is about me, I had something unique to offer a part that, in theory, a lot of different people could play.
So I asked you to tell me a specific project that stands out amongst all others in your career, that if all of them were like this one, you'd be the happiest person alive. You said there were parts of West Wing that fit that. I said, tell me a specific story that capture for me so I can understand what the joy was, and you told me about an audition. You didn't even tell me about it. So what was it about auditioning for West Wing that stands out as such a joyous experience compared to everything else that you've done in a career?
Is it the stakes?
I don't know. You tell me.
My initial thing is,
because you told me this project stood out, but you told me about, then when I asked you to give me an example, you said the audition, which wasn't the project.
No, it's true. I mean, maybe it's the stakes. Like it's like I love being in live theater. I'll be because there's no. It's all you're not. No one's editing you.
So you like stakes.
I think it's stakes.
And you said you're competitive. So an audition is the same as live theater. Like
yes,
it'll go well or it won't go well, and you don't get a second try.
That's right. Like when I've done my one-man show,
Right.
It's the same. It's the same buzz.
So basically, okay. So now we're getting into something here, right? So now the one-man show gives you the same buzz. So you like stakes. You like odds. You like risk.
Saturday Night Live
You like risk.
is another one.
Yeah, you like risk. You like that you are forced to hold yourself to the highest standard in the moment because you don't get a gimme. You don't get a mulligan. And when you look at your career, the times you had the most joy, it's when there were stakes.
Yeah, because Saturday Night Live would be up there too.
Okay, tell me an early specific happy childhood memory. Something that I can relive with you. Something, not like we went to my grandparents every weekend. Something specific that I can relive with you.
But you're presupposing I had a happy childhood.
Okay, tell me any memory from your childhood then.
Okay. This is a happy childhood memory. It's my grandma giving me coffee. Of course, it was milk.
Right.
With a drop of Sanka. Remember Sanka?
I do.
With a drop of Sanka. And then she would read to me Peter Rabbit.
So of all the good or bad things that happened to you in your childhood, what was it about this one memory that stands out amongst all the others?
Clearly it was the caffeine.
Clearly it was the caffeine, right? And you've been buzzed ever since. From Sanka.
I'm just Sanka. Sanka very much. I would say the memory of it feels like comforting.
Yeah.
And feels I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I remember that.
What did she say anything to you when she gave you, like, why did you want coffee?
She had it.
So you wanted to be like her. And so she said, okay.
Fitting in, being like, it was our thing.
Right.
It's our thing. And then, of course, Peter Rabbit's fucking throwdown book.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I mean, come on. Mr. McGregor's Garden. Come on.
I mean, I like Beatrix Potter.
And I would play Peter Rabbit, by the way, while she did it.
So it started early.
So I would hop around the...
How old are you in this scene? 18?
I was, about 21. Yeah. Came home from St. Elmo's Fire. Wanted to go see Grandma. I was like...
Put some Sanka in
Yeah, it's like...
in your milk.
Hey, Sanka.
So, I mean, there's stakes, right? I mean, I'm trying to find the connection there. I'm not sure there is one yet. But I do like this idea that I'm fascinated by the fact that I asked you a question about projects that stood out to you.
And I did it.
And you told me an audition. And you told me an audition. And then as we dig a little deeper, and you think about all of the real highlights, the highs of your career, it's the live, it's the stakes, it's the risk. I find that interesting. So the question is how do you create risk? How do you create stakes when when there are just inherently less stakes?
It's also pushing into something new is also part of it, which I know that is my thing.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure out where my place is in stuff, like which we almost started talking about what you tell kids to do today with the world changing so quickly. Mm. And I can feel the world. I mean, this is no stop the presses moment, but the world is changing so quickly right now that I'm all about trying to figure out where to be. And I think it happily is because I feel like I'm a nimble person. I like stakes. I think I'm actually going to position pretty well for what's coming. And I've done that in my career. It's like I did TV when people didn't do TV. I pivoted into comedy when I love to pivot. I'm happy to pivot.
Is it because of boredom?
Mostly it's boredom. I get bored so easy. I hate it. It's dealing with boredom. Like when I got sober, right? I realized the number one thing that I had to learn was dealing with boredom. Like boredom drove me to anything unhealthy I've ever done has come from
Boredom.
from dealing with boredom, which I find intolerable.
So it goes back to stakes. You need stakes. You need risk.
I didn't even, it's the most obvious connection, and I hadn't
You
done
need
it.
risk. You need stakes. And so the reason you do things in a career that most people will either be advised don't do it because you're a movie actor, you don't want to do television, back when that was a thing, or you're a drama actor, don't do comedy, or vice versa, and you should go down the list. And in your case, you've taken these risks because it's the only way you stay. It's the only way you enjoy your career is to inject the potential for loss, the potential for humiliation, the potential for this going horribly wrong, like live theater, like Saturday Night Live, like an audition.
Well, and it's funny because I just did this little independent movie that's coming out, and I had such a good time, and I realized it's because I'm playing a character. I'm not like it's not my movie.
Right.
I'm not carrying it.
Right.
And I can just swing away.
And have
like
fun.
when I did Behind the Candelabra with Soderbergh, that would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, I don't know if it's wearing the makeup, frees you up. You're literally behind a mask. But like when I get to do character stuff, instead of having to be listen, I love doing leading man stuff too, but it's a really different gear.
And once the first time is the most thrilling, and then you get good at it, and then you get bored.
Yeah.
Some people like the routine because they like being the expert. You like the risk.
That's why I started doing a podcast. So I wanted to learn.
So now let's go back to the beginning of this conversation. This conversation started with, what should we tell our kids? Right?
Yeah.
And so the discovery isn't, what do you want to do with your life, or who do you want to be? But what we've learned about you is that you are happiest when there's the potential for downside. You are the happiest when you are responsible for you. And if it doesn't go well, so what things can you do? And so one of the things that we would say to you is, well, find something that is constantly changing, or you have the ability to pivot. Find something you're not going to get stuck in routine, or have a career where you have some agency so you can, mix things up and take risks that others wouldn't. Now, where can we do that? Show business being a pretty good one, and the way you've managed your show business career is very different than most. My point being, this would be like advice for somebody young. This is where this started.
Yeah.
Because your whole thing is like, don't drop out of med school and, become a doctor. But if that was...
Well, now I would say don't go to med school.
I
would say don't do it.
Or if it's your personality.
Yes.
If it's your personality, maybe work in an ER or some sort of a higher stakes medicine rather than being a dermatologist.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You would find dermatology it would be mind-numbing for you.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that.
But if you worked in an ER or some sort of high-stakes medicine, you'd probably enjoy it.
You never know what's coming in the door.
You'd probably enjoy it.
Yes.
See?
Okay, now
that's how that works.
Now add to it, all of those things are going to be done by robots. So now what do you do? Like one of the great AI minds recently was saying, within 5 years, the notion of, so what do you do? Like, no one will say that. They'll say, so what are you into?
I think people who predict the future are funny. I remember you and I are both, of an age where when the internet was showing up and online shopping was showing up, all of the same people who were telling us what the future is going to be like, they were all telling us that it's the death of bricks and mortar. Like, stores are going to go away. Didn't happen. Now, their business model struggles for different reasons because the cost structures are more complicated than online shopping, but they're still there because we hunter-gatherers still like going shopping. So they get some of the predictions wrong, or technologists now love to tell us, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 80% of the jobs today didn't exist, which means we can safely predict that in 20 to 30 years now, there's going to be 80% new jobs that we cannot predict. Don't you remember? It was just a couple of years ago, they were telling everybody, your kids, they need to be prompters, because that went away quickly when the machine just got smarter and you could ask bad questions and get a good answer.
Remember, we should teach coding instead of cursive?
Right.
Remember that whole thing?
Yeah. I mean, I think the only, and we never know exactly.
Let me be devil's advocate though.
Go for, yes.
There's always, it's like when you get a script and you get what do you think is a bad note from the studio? Really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's always at least a kernel or more of something legitimate in that note. Like you can dismiss it, go, oh, they're the student, what do they know? But there's always something there. And the death of bricks and mortar, listen, as my wife Cheryl Lowe is a jeweler.
Brilliant one.
And she's great. And when
And
she started,
both of us forgot to wear our Cheryl Lowe originals.
I do have this.
I have my bracelet sitting by my bed and I forgot to put it on.
But when she started her business, bricks and mortar, you had to be in bricks and mortar. And now it's like, there's a big, it's gone away.
Well, yeah, but we're not saying that everybody who wants to sell something has to have bricks and mortar. What we're saying is that the internet did not eliminate bricks and mortar.
Yes.
All the predictions that bricks and mortar would go away didn't happen.
Right.
And I think it's because there's a hubris. The human beings have an arrogance, especially when they have a financial interest in whatever it is that they're peddling, right?
Yes.
To predict that thing that they're peddling is going to be the thing.
Right.
Duh. And I do think that the AI thing is also quite funny to me, because if you go back to like the 70s and 80s, robotics were showing up in factories like en masse, and blue collar workers were saying, "Hey, you're going to put us out of work," and the ruling classes and CEO classes said, "It's the future, man. Technology, man. You got to reskill, man." Right? And they had no empathy for the loss of jobs. Well, the pendulum doth swing. Now, the plumber doesn't care about AI.
I know.
The baggage handler doesn't care about AI. Your construction guy cares about AI zero.
Yep.
The only people who care about AI are knowledge workers.
Behind the desk people.
It's the future, man. It's the future.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like reskill. And it's like, the pendulum does swing, and now what are you going to do? So I think that hard skills, we talked about this a little bit, which is hard skills, like learning how to do a thing, use your hands, use your brain, I think is a thing. But also I think human skills.
That's the thing I say.
I think we need to double down on human skills, quite frankly.
I was talking to someone who, about their summer internships and who they hired. and it was sort of Silicon Valley-esque. And he was like, we didn't hire any of the brainy nerds. Enough of them. We hired only people who lit up a room.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I met the guy who ran the human space part of NASA, basically ran the astronaut program. And so I asked him, "What's the number one quality you look for when you choose when you let somebody into the astronaut corps?" And he says, "They have to be nice." Right? No, of course they have to be smart and all the rest of it. But number one was nice, because they're going to be in a space station with a small group of people in a confined space for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And if you're not nice, things will break and things will go horribly, horribly wrong. You have to be a nice person. And if you've ever met astronauts, they're all really nice. They're really nice. They're also unflappable, and they don't get, they don't get shaken under pressure. But at the end of the day, they're just nice because they have to be. And I thought that was really interesting. It's the human element, not the intelligence, not the engineering skill.
The human element becomes
was number one.
EQ, as they say, right?
EQ is number one.
Number one.
And of course, the other things are important, but not more important than the EQ. So if you're the best engineer and you're not a nice person, you don't get picked to go into the space station.
What? Okay, so where do you see higher learning going? When
That's a good
the
question.
knowledge of the ages is right here, and it's what? It's about rote memorization. That's it.
It's a good question. I think we also misunderstand the full purpose for higher education, right? It's a halfway house to independence for some kids, right?
I would say all of them.
For a lot of kids, some kids, they're forced to grow up fast, unfortunately. But I think for most of us, what I learned at college, I don't think, except for me studying a bit of anthropology, which has benefited me and it's basically my career now, the thing that I learned in college was how to be independent, and I'm talking basic stuff, like how to do my own laundry.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like I had to keep my own room clean, like I didn't have my mom yelling at me to clean it. Like I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to motivate to do it. I had to be responsible for my own schedule. I made my own schedule. I chose my own classes, and I had to show up. Nobody was nagging me or bugging me. And so it's a great entry-level way. It's a great halfway house. And you learn conflict resolution, and you learn to deal with your own stuff, and you learn to ask difficult questions. And it's the first time ever you can Like fight with a professor. You can't fight with your high school teacher. You're always wrong because they know, just do the work.
That's
But
right. Yeah.
now you're dealing in ideas, and you can have an argument, a debate with somebody with a PhD at the end of their name, and you can make a legitimate argument as to why you think that they're wrong. And it's scholarly. And I think that was a great way to enter adulthood, because I learned some very important adult skills. And I think when we think about college and the whole anti-college movement, of which it's quite large, they also forget that Zuckerberg started Facebook at college and then he quit. He didn't quit and then start Facebook, for example. But the whole anti-college movement, they're only thinking about it in terms of academics. They're only thinking about it in terms of learning, and they're completely neglecting all the other things that we're supposed to learn in college instead of being thrown into the deep end, which is a career.
Okay, but you don't need to go into student debt for the rest of your life to learn those things.
And that's
And you don't need to go, and the Ivy League doesn't mean jack shit. That's what you're there to learn.
I agree with that. And that the Ivy League is also different because it's more of a network than anything else.
Right.
They all help each other out. It's a club.
Right.
Of which I'm not a part of. But I agree with you, but that's not the problem with higher education. That's the problem with how we fund higher education. And if most of these universities were run like efficient businesses, they would do better. They're run badly. There's no reason that education should have to cost this much. I don't know what they're doing with that money. And their endowments are through the roof in some of these schools, especially the Ivy League.
Yeah.
Which is, it seems like they're just investment funds, and they seem that seems to be the priority more than the education. So that's a question of how they run the universities, not a question of whether a university education has value. Those aren't the same thing. But I agree.
But interconnected.
But interconnected for sure. And there's now a movement where kids are going to community college first and then transferring after 2 years just to save money. I think that's fascinating too. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for community colleges to up their game and offer the human skills that a kid would come for. With their plan is, I'm going to go to community college for 2 years and transfer to the school that gets me the network. But then once they're there, discover that they're learning so much that they end up staying. I think it's an opportunity for community colleges because people are choosing them first, even if they're overqualified academically.
It's also about how it's the same thing we're talking about with bricks and mortar. It doesn't go away, but our relationships to them kind of change.
Yeah.
You just go, well, I'll go to Wright State University and shout out to Wright State. It's right. It's the only one I could think of. It's in Dayton, where I grew up.
You didn't go to college, right?
No.
You just went straight into the career.
Right because I had the opportunity to.
Was the opportunity an accident? Or was it like...
No, I was auditioning. I wanted to be an actor since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And I did everything I could
Rabbit
to be
first role.
To be a pro. And so it wasn't even my first role, but it was my first movie. So The Outsiders with Coppola.
Oh, right.
And I was 17.
I forgot that you were in that.
17.
That's a good film.
It stood the test so far.
Yeah. Oh, I should rewatch that. It's been a long time.
Yeah. And it's great because it's now taught, the book is taught in every 7th grade curriculum pretty much across the country. So people they read the book and then watch the movie. So every year there's a new group of 7th graders. They're like, oh, who's that skinny kid with the towel over him? So that'd be me. So it's cool.
And the nice smile.
It introduces you to a new audience.
That's cool.
Which is really super cool.
That's super cool.
So you sound very... my mom was an English teacher, and I'm getting a vocabulary word that my mom would have said to me. Sanguine?
Right? Sanguine, yeah.
You're sanguine?
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, you're very sanguine, aren't you? About AI.
I'm balanced about it. I'm excited.
Super balanced.
Yeah, I'm excited for the stuff that I find exciting. I'm nervous for the stuff that I think we should be concerned about. I'm open to the things that there are things that I cannot predict that will make my life better. And I'm open to the fact that there are things that I cannot predict that will make our lives worse. Kind of like the internet. Like some of it was amazing, some of it's awful, some of it we predicted and some of it we didn't. And I think that's the case of all technologies. And, we don't fully know how our work will be, how AI will fully get used. The population will figure it out more than the eggheads. They will say, you can use it for this. And people are like, great. And they'll find 50 other uses. So I find that interesting, the unpredictable. So I'm balanced. I think we should be concerned where concern is necessary, and we should be excited where we're excited. I think to be all or nothing about it, to be fully against it or fully for it.
What about just because conceptually the notion that as it learns, it eventually becomes its own sentient.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Thing.
I mean,
which now is, I mean, to hear everybody talk is that is literally just a mathematical matter of time fact.
The interruption in all of that, and I consider this a danger, is all of the companies who are making it are for-profit companies, right? OpenAI didn't start that way, but they've gone that way, and all of the companies that are making online friends, AI friends and AI companions and AI, all of this, they're all for-profit. And we saw what happened with social media. We saw what happened with Facebook. We saw what happened with all of these organizations where they invented things like the infinite scroll. They invented ways to make us stay on for longer, not because we want to, but because it's good for their business model and it's good for their ad model. And so that's exactly the same that's going to happen. They're going to pioneer ways to make us stay on longer because it's in their interest, not ours. And we're already starting to see some of the unpredictable effects where these affirmation machines, because that's what they are, they're affirmation machines, because who wants to stay on something that insults you and tells you you're wrong, right? And these, I just heard of a true story. Friend of a friend, I just learned this the other day, got divorced because the AI said she should. Now, I'm sure there were problems, and she went down a rabbit hole of he did this and he did that, and how can he put up with, but it was her, the machine affirmed her side of the story like a bad best friend or a good best friend, depending on your point of view, to the point where she followed the AI's advice and divorced the guy, and there's nothing he could say. He's like, but, I will, nope. The machine told me that I am right and this marriage is over. And we already know how it's driving people, young people, again, it's in them, but it's encouraging them to suicide, And so I think that anytime there's a financial model involved, we should be cynical. And that, I mean that for everything.
Yeah.
I mean that for people who sell, supplements. Like if somebody has a vested interest in whatever their pitch is, doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means be aware that there's a vested interest, that there's a conflict of interest in whatever their recommendation is.
That's a really salient point that I think we all know, but we forget. We forget it all the time.
Yeah, because these things are, it's like dealing with AI and dealing with social media. It's like peddling in meth. It's like, or maybe something that has benefits. Maybe it's like
meth that's socially acceptable.
So cocaine,
socially acceptable meth,
whatever it is. It's something that has benefits. Like you can stay up all night studying.
Exactly.
Thank you. There you go.
I've been waiting.
There you go.
For somebody to say, tell me the benefits I know are there.
Exactly. So the point is they're all peddling in drugs that have benefits, but they also have addictive qualities. And I think anyway.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Because my wife, Cheryl, who you know and love like I do, is...
Not like you do, but...
She's super in my grill.
About
my time on TikTok.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah. And I kind of love it.
It's incredible. That's why I had to turn it off.
Okay. All right. As usual, you're out on the horizon.
Oh, no. I was fully aware.
Report back to me in the cave. What have you seen?
Oh, no. TikTok is incredible. That algorithm is absolutely astonishing.
Bananas.
It knows things that I don't even know that I want, and then I realize it's right. No. I did the TikTok thing because I like to try everything that's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm in bed a little early. You know what? I'm going to make myself tired. I'm going to watch TikTok for 15 minutes and then turn out the lights. 2.5 hours later,
yeah,
I'm turning it off because I'm falling asleep.
I know.
It is astonishing, but it scared me so much because I disappeared for hours on that thing. It's astonishing. And she's right.
And then when you add to it, what do I hate most about life? Boredom. So what is the instant boredom killer? TikTok.
Addiction.
An addiction.
I mean, you said it yourself. You said every bad thing you've ever done in your life, you did to escape boredom. So you've replaced alcohol with TikTok.
Oh my God.
Is this the wrong podcast for that? At least we're on home turf.
Oh my
You can
God.
edit it out.
What if you...
You get to edit this one.
No, this is exactly what we want. God damn. Well, you know what it is? It's that also that thing of, and this is why you're you, is I think when people are vaguely aware of something they need to do, they just need the right person at the right time to tell them. And you, sir, may have been that person.
All you have to do is delete the app. You won't miss it. The minute I deleted it, I never craved it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's there. So even like I have to be on Instagram for work, but I found myself on Instagram too much. So what I did was I hid it. You know, you can hide things off your home screen. So I hid Instagram so it doesn't show up anywhere. And I made it that it doesn't show up in my search. It doesn't suggest it in the search. Also,
Yes.
you get the setting. The only way I can get to Instagram is if I type a search for Instagram and make the app pop up. And,
Right.
and because I don't do it, and so what I have found is I actually don't check it that often because I don't see it and just click on it.
But like me, I don't need to do it. I kind of do. Okay, so there's a component of work.
I have to be on.
Yeah. So how do you? So you just farm it out. You just don't participate in the incoming. It's only the outgoing.
On Instagram
or TikTok.
I don't know. I go on Instagram. I can go down on Instagram.
And you're not on. You never had any TikTok presence yourself.
No, I'm on TikTok.
You are? Okay,
Yeah.
So how do you do, you just...
Doesn't mean I use the app. I make stuff for TikTok, but I don't doom scroll on TikTok. I don't use TikTok for my own enjoyment. Like I'm not entertained by TikTok. But by the way, and this is not a slight on their product. Their product is astonishing and brilliant. And the people who make stuff for TikTok we saw that during COVID. Like, my God, people are funny.
But by the way,
and talented and smart.
Those people are way more entertaining than anything coming
way
out of
more
Hollywood.
Entertaining. Absolutely.
I'll watch TikTok and laugh way more than watching a comedy that's in the movies.
There's a technology, I think it's called Block or Brick. It's a little black thing, like a big square thing. They sent me one and we used it with my niece and nephew. It's actually brilliant. I think it's called Block or Brick. And basically you tap your phone on it and it disables all the apps you tell it to disable until you tap it again. So exactly. So not to treat you like a child, but
no, treat me like a child.
But
please.
But your wife can hide the brick.
How many brownie points do you think
you have to
I get if I know I'm going to do it?
Right.
I know I'm going to hide my TikTok app. If I let her do it.
No, but if you use this brick thing, you tap your phone on it and it disables TikTok. It's on your phone, but it's disabled. You cannot access it. There's no setting that you can go to unlock it. It is locked until you tap the brick again, right? But the thing is, you don't know where the brick is because Cheryl put it in a safe and didn't tell you the password.
I love this.
So you can have it, but it's regulated. And if you can't self-regulate, I think the bigger challenge or the bigger opportunity is to learn to enjoy boredom.
Okay.
Like, do you meditate?
Yes. And by the way, I'm perfectly good in my own company, like sitting out and like looking at the stars, the fire pit.
By the way, this is the pot calling the kettle black. I'm not so great with boredom either. And I'm plenty...
Do you meditate?
I meditate-ish, yeah. I go through phases.
Same.
But I also don't like being bored and like to fill space. And I've had to learn to embrace boredom to some degree. I'm not good at it.
Well, how about, here's an early memory. I remember vividly, and memories are not the best mirrors of what actually happened, but my memory is that my mom would leave me in the car for like an hour while she would shop.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing to do. Like we were coming back from the pool or whatever it was in the summer, and she's like, I'm just going to stop and get some stuff. And
siblings? Just you?
Just me.
Okay.
No radio.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a book.
Right.
I'm just sitting in that car.
Right.
And I have this memory of it. And it's probably why I don't like boredom. But like you're forced to deal with it. Like that never, or how about just like not even that kind of.
Was there anxiety associated with it? Or did you just like, all right, see you in a minute?
No,
Bye.
no anxiety.
Okay. Do you have an active imagination?
Yes. And that's probably why I got it.
Yeah.
Just how about like the trips you'd take? We're driving to Mount Rushmore this summer. Like I had a book. And I read the book, and then if the book was done, that's it. There's nothing else to do. Count license plates.
Yeah.
No one's doing that.
So
you think I have a problem with boredom? What about the kids today? What about the kids today?
There's
I've seen them. I've seen them at Chuck E. Cheese.
There's data.
And they've got the dancing cheese, and then they've got their screens.
There's a data that shows that kids who have more toys have worse imaginations, and kids who have fewer toys have better imaginations. Of course, right? And so, the irony is the more we give kids, the more we're screwing them up. Where we've both had the opportunity to challenge. We've both had the opportunity to travel around the world and see, go to developing nations, and you see kids that have nothing. They've got a stick and a tire, and they're smiling and they're happy and they're having a great time because they have their imaginations. And our kids with closets filled with toys falling out of the closets, get bored and move to the next, and get bored and move to the next, and then they're all. And we're all like that. If you think about how we are out here, there's nothing to watch on TV. We literally have unlimited access to pretty much everything that's ever been produced ever. And we're like, there's nothing to watch. Right? Like you turn on the TV and you flip through some previews and you flip through the things that you started, you don't feel like finishing. You have no memory for anything you want to see in that moment. And you literally I look at Hulu, I look at Disney, I look at Netflix, I look at HBO, I look at Apple, and I turn it off, I go, oh, freaking nothing.
That's all I do.
But I think it's the paradox of choice, which is if we had less. I mean, don't you remember when we had
3 networks?
Or I mean, I'm too young for that, but I remember just when cable was like we had 13 channels, and I remember. Do you remember there's the buttons with the, you had
the long thing,
the long thing, and I remember I had my fingers on 5 channels that I could go like this.
Yeah, like you're playing piano.
Like playing the piano. And I could scroll between the channels. But we found stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And it wasn't whenever we wanted to watch it. It was when it was on now.
I remember when ESPN showed nothing but bowling. And you were kind of like, I'm kind of down with bowling. I didn't know I like to watch that.
Who knew that poker was so fun to watch?
I'm telling you that.
Poker is so fun to watch. Do you play poker?
I'm not I'd like to do a deep dive. I'm not a card game guy. I'm just not.
Even Rummy? Rummy Cube?
Like there's
Rummy
certain,
Cube. Rummy Cube is, come on.
Sure. You know what it's like for me is like there's certain and I love, I'm like super active and competitive.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about those like I try to every few years. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play gin rummy. We're all gonna play cards today. And I'm like, let's play Texas Hold'em. And then within 3 hands, I'm like, I'm done.
Bored.
I'm done with them. But I'm also the guy who can walk through a casino every day of my life and never, ever have an inkling to play any of that.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Because they're not real stakes, they're fake stakes.
Say more about that.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Well, you can lose money, but you can't lose face.
Ooh.
Because the stakes you like.
I want to play with my reputation.
Yeah. Your stakes are like real. Like losing money, I mean, they're stakes, but not if you just play $100. You're not gambling your kid's college education away, right?
Right.
You're not gambling the mortgage money. That
doesn't sound fun to me.
But that's just losing. That's not stakes.
Right.
You're talking about like, I'm going to do something that can completely screw up my whole career. Okay, game on. I'm an established actor. I'm world famous. I haven't auditioned in 10 years, and Aaron Sorkin wants me to audition. Okay, what if I don't get the part? That's kind of humiliating. I won't get the part. Could happen. Game on. A lot of people that wanted that part said no to the audition for fear of not getting it, because the humiliation of not getting it, the fear of the humiliation of not getting it was worse than not getting it.
And how it presents to them is, I shouldn't have to do that.
I shouldn't have to do that. but it's really fear. It's not. It's the arrogance is actually fear.
That's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah, it makes sense though when you think about it.
You like to be on the edge of the diving board.
Literally. I was the little kid that would climb up to the highest diving board. Literally would.
I
Literally would do it.
I fully understand the Rob Lowe.
Do you understand?
The fact that I just said that and you actually were the kid that climbed up to the top of the diving board.
Remember the gnarly, when we used to have those ones?
It wasn't even a board, it was just a platform.
There was like the two that were like low.
Oh, I remember.
And then there's the one in the middle that's way up. It's
You really should change your name to Rob High.
Rob High.
Yeah.
Isn't it the irony? Maybe that was it.
Maybe it is. You've been
railing against my own last
exactly.
name. I'll show you.
Exactly.
I'll go high.
Exactly. Rob High. Yeah. That all makes sense.
We've solved it. We've solved it. Is there anything we've forgotten that we should talk about?
It's up to you.
We save it for you. We're going to your.
Yeah, we're doing a twofer.
This is a twofer. So if you,
that's why Rob's borrowing our set.
So if you've liked this, there's more. Just wait. Just wait till he gets his claw. He kind of had his claws on me during this. What the hell is in store for me over on your podcast now?
Well, you can take over.
Maybe I'll really just rip you. I'm getting thumbs up from the crew here.
Oh, they want that?
Yeah. They're super excited. Okay, so come over to, what are we calling it? It's a bit of optimism.
What's yours called?
Literally.
I like how we showed up in each other's podcasts and actually don't know what the other person's podcast is called.
Isn't that great?
It's Rob Lowe's podcast. Isn't that what
it's Rob Lowe's podcast. I mean, let's get real.
Let's be honest.
I can call it whatever I want. It's fine. It's Rob Lowe's podcast.
I mean, is it literally or is it literally?
Well, that's just the thing, isn't it? It's Rob Lowe's podcast. So you pronounce it the way
Rob Lowe would. Like boredom.
What if, or is it boredom?
No, you pronounce boredom very, there's a heavy D in there.
Boredom. It's like the Netflix logo.
Boredom. Yeah. You say boredom.
Is it? Maybe that's what the Netflix logo is saying.
You say boredom.
I think the Netflix logo is telling you there's a very good chance if you watch this thing.
Yeah, you're bored.
Gonna be
Boredom. Yeah. I have a more sanguine way of saying boredom.
Yours is much more sanguine. Boredom.
Well, this has not been boring.
I don't think there's been any boredom.
No, no boredom.
They can turn on Netflix. Ted Sarandos, he's such a good friend, and Ted, we're just having fun with you. We love whatever that fucking.
Are you pitching a show?
Boredom. Yeah, always. No, I'll get like. I heard you with Simon. You guys were great.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literally, sponsored by Lowe's.